Have you ever felt truly unstoppable? Like you were in the zone, performing at your peak? This is the power of the flow state. It's a state of effortless action, where you're fully immersed in the present moment. When you're in flow, you tap into your full potential, you achieve incredible things. And the best part? It feels easy, effortless, like you're being carried by a wave of energy and inspiration. The first step to accessing this flow state is to detach from the outcome. Let me tell you about Lily. She was a talented young woman driven to succeed in her career. But Lily was so focused on reaching specific milestones, the promotion, the corner office, the big salary, that she became a prisoner to her own ambition. She was constantly stressed, always pushing, never satisfied. One day Lily had a realization. Her relentless pursuit of external validation was actually holding her back. She decided to shift her focus. Instead of obsessing over the destination, she would pour her energy into the journey itself. She would focus on doing her best work every single day and trust that the results would follow. And you know what? They did. When Lily let go of her need to control the outcome, her work became infused with a new level of passion and creativity. She started taking risks, innovating and excelling in ways she never thought possible. Opportunities began to appear as if by magic. It was as if the universe was rewarding her newfound sense of trust and surrender. Our minds are powerful tools. They can either propel us towards success or hold us back in a cycle of self-doubt and limitation. Rachel, a brilliant architect, was struggling with the latter. She was overwhelmed by the demands of her job, constantly feeling stressed and inadequate. The pressure was mounting, and Rachel started to doubt her abilities. Determined to find a solution, Rachel stumbled upon the power of mindfulness. She began incorporating short meditation sessions into her daily routine. She learned to observe her thoughts without judgment, acknowledging her negative self-talk and replacing it with positive affirmations. Slowly but surely, Rachel's mindset began to shift. She realized that her thoughts were not facts, but simply interpretations that she had the power to change. Armed with this new awareness, Rachel started approaching challenges with a sense of clarity and purpose. She reframed obstacles as opportunities for growth and began to see her work in a whole new light. The stress didn't disappear entirely, but Rachel now possessed the tools to navigate it with grace and resilience. We live in a culture obsessed with speed and instant gratification. In today's fast-paced world, everything seems to be about getting results quickly. From instant messaging to same-day delivery, we are constantly surrounded by the idea that faster is better. We want it all and we want it now. This mindset often spills over into our personal and professional lives, making us believe that success should come instantly. But sometimes the greatest things in life unfold according to a timeline we can't control. Nature itself is a testament to this, with its seasons and cycles that remind us that everything has its own time. This is what Sophie, a talented musician, had to learn the hard way. Her journey was not just about mastering her craft, but also about understanding the importance of patience and timing. Sophie was desperate to make it big in the music industry. She poured her heart and soul into her music, hoping that her passion and hard work would be enough to catapult her to stardom. She was constantly chasing gigs, networking relentlessly and pushing herself to the brink of exhaustion. Every day was a hustle, filled with endless to-do lists and sleepless nights. But despite her talent and dedication, success seemed elusive. Each performance that didn't lead to a breakthrough felt like a personal failure. Rejection after rejection chipped away at her confidence, leaving her feeling frustrated and discouraged. The weight of constant setbacks made her question her path and her purpose. It wasn't until Sophie stumbled upon the concept of divine timing that her perspective began to shift. She started to explore the idea that perhaps there was a bigger plan at play, one that she couldn't see but needed to trust. She realized that she had been trying to force her way into a future that wasn't meant to be rushed. This newfound understanding brought her a sense of peace and clarity. She began to surrender to the present moment, trusting that everything was unfolding exactly as it should. Instead of fighting against the current, she learned to flow with it. She continued to hone her craft, but she released the desperate need for external validation. Her music became a source of joy rather than a means to an end. And that's when the magic happened. When Sophie let go of her need to control every outcome, she opened herself up to new possibilities. When Sophie stopped focusing on forcing things to happen, opportunities began to present themselves organically. She found herself in the right places at the right times, meeting people who believed in her talent. She connected with the right people, her music resonated with a wider audience, and her career took off in ways she had never imagined. Sophie's journey is a powerful reminder that sometimes the best things in life come when we least expect them, and that patience and trust can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Desperation is a repellent. It's a force that drives away the very things we yearn for, creating a barrier between us and our goals. When we operate from a place of fear and scarcity, we send out a frequency that pushes away the very things we desire. This was the harsh reality Jack, a passionate entrepreneur, found himself trapped in. Jack, a passionate entrepreneur, was caught in this vicious cycle. He had poured his heart and soul into his business, but success seemed elusive. Every day felt like an uphill battle, and the weight of his dreams was becoming too heavy to bear. He had poured his heart and soul into his business, but success seemed elusive. He became consumed by the fear of failure, constantly chasing after every opportunity, no matter how insignificant. The more he chased, the further away success seemed to drift. He became consumed by the fear of failure, constantly chasing after every opportunity, no matter how insignificant. His days were filled with frantic calls and rushed meetings, each one leaving him more drained than the last. His desperation was palpable, and it was affecting every aspect of his business. Clients could sense his neediness, investors were hesitant to get involved, and Jack's own team started to lose faith. The atmosphere around him was thick with tension and uncertainty. Clients could sense his neediness, investors were hesitant to get involved, and Jack's own team started to lose faith. The once vibrant energy of his business was now overshadowed by doubt and hesitation. It was a painful realization, but Jack knew he had to make a change. It was a painful realization, but Jack knew he had to make a change. He stepped back from the day-to-day operations of his business and embarked on a journey of self-discovery. He needed to reconnect with himself and understand what truly mattered. He stepped back from the day-to-day operations of his business and embarked on a journey of self-discovery. He spent time in nature, meditated and reflected on his journey. He reconnected with his core values, identified his true passions, and redefined what success really meant to him. He reconnected with his core values, identified his true passions, and redefined what success really meant to him. Through journaling and introspection, he realized that he had been so caught up in the pursuit of external validation that he had lost sight of his why. He realized that he had been so caught up in the pursuit of external validation that he had lost sight of his why. This newfound clarity was a turning point for Jack. He understood that true success was not about chasing every opportunity, but about aligning his actions with his values. Armed with this newfound clarity, Jack returned to his business with a renewed sense of purpose. He stopped chasing after every shiny object and started focusing on building a sustainable business that aligned with his values. He approached clients and investors with genuine enthusiasm, not desperation, and the results spoke for themselves. He stopped chasing after every shiny object and started focusing on building a sustainable business that aligned with his values. He approached clients and investors with genuine enthusiasm, not desperation, and the results spoke for themselves. His team, once disheartened, now rallied behind him with renewed vigor. He approached clients and investors with genuine enthusiasm, not desperation, and the results spoke for themselves. Jack's business began to thrive, not because he was chasing success, but because he was living his truth. His journey of self-discovery had not only transformed his business, but had also brought him a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy. We live in a world that glorifies control. We're taught to plan meticulously, manage every detail, and strive for predictability. From a young age, we're conditioned to believe that control equates to success. But the truth is, life is inherently uncertain. No matter how much we plan, unexpected events can and will happen. And sometimes, the most powerful thing we can do is simply let go. Embracing the unknown can be liberating. Anna, a single mother of two, was a self-proclaimed control freak. She believed that if she didn't manage every aspect of her life, everything would fall apart. She had to manage everything: her job, her children's schedules, the household finances, everything. Her days were a whirlwind of tasks and responsibilities. She was constantly worried, stressed, and on edge. The pressure to keep everything under control was immense. The weight of the world was on her shoulders, and it was taking its toll. She felt exhausted, both physically and mentally. One day, Anna reached her breaking point. She realized she couldn't go on like this. She realized that her need for control was actually creating more chaos and anxiety in her life. It was a moment of profound clarity. She decided to embark on a radical experiment. She would practice letting go. She would trust the process and see what happened. She started small, delegating tasks at work. She began to trust her colleagues more and allowed them to take on responsibilities. She also loosened the reins on her children's schedules, giving them more freedom to explore and play, and she allowed herself to ask for help when she needed it. She reached out to friends and family, and they were more than willing to support her. To her surprise, the world didn't fall apart. In fact, it became more manageable. In fact, things started to flow more smoothly. She found that by letting go, she was able to enjoy life more. By relinquishing control, Anna created space for more joy, peace, and ease in her life. She laughed more, worried less, and found a new sense of balance. She learned to trust that everything would work out, even if it wasn't exactly according to her plan. Anna discovered that sometimes the best way to find peace is to let go and trust the journey.